Tonight, we look at the notable defensemen available. Dano, as we look forward to the expansion draft, the Seattle Kraken have some big names to look at. Right off the top, you, of course, are Mr. Devil. PK Subban played for the New Jersey Devils at one point, 2012-13. He's a Norris Trophy winner. As you look up and down those names, what comes to mind?
Veteran guys that how much do they have left in the tank? And obviously, some of those guys going through injury. Erik Johnson did not play the entire season. I really like him. He would be a great addition for the Seattle Kraken. How healthy is he? We know Shea Weber, for all intents and purposes, may not play this season as well. So there's going to be interesting choices for the Seattle Kraken. But if I'm general manager Ron Francis, I certainly would like a veteran or two on the back end to mix in with some puck-moving, skating type transition defensemen that are 24, 25, 26 along the way if you're going to be competitive early in your first season coming to the National Hockey League. But I don't know what direction to go. I mean, Giordano, 1 year remaining on his contract, been a captain in this league for a long time for the Calgary Flames, only a few years removed from being a Norris Trophy winner.
True.
Would he be an interesting option just for that leadership?
And high character.
High character.
Yes.
Has another year of good hockey in him for sure, a year or two, whatever that may be, although he's got 1 year left in his contract. So that might be an interesting option, I would think, for the Seattle Kraken. A guy that can really help nurture some of these younger defensemen along that we would expect them to have going into this year. So it's going to be very interesting, but they're not going to take 3, 4, 35, 36-year-old defensemen that are questionable from a health standpoint. Giordano would be an interesting one to me.
We talked about high character. A few years ago, he won a Muhammad Ali Citizenship Award. Just think about that for a second. All that Muhammad Ali did for the world when he was no longer a fighter. Gio has tremendous character. Now, there was a name you said earlier when we were talking about all of this that's going on. Jake Bean. Why?
Well, Jake Bean's a young defenseman drafted high. Obviously, the Carolina Hurricanes feel that maybe he hasn't developed as quickly as they would have liked, but he's on the unprotected list, and they elected to protect Brady Shea, who I thought, if available, would be an interesting option for the Seattle Kraken because of his skating ability and good in transition and a big body. So we'll see if Seattle thinks Jake Bean needs more time. He needs an opportunity in the National Hockey League to play regularly, and can he be that guy that was highly touted when he was in his draft year?
It's a nice compliment that he's on your radar.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he's got tools. We've got a lot of tools. What do we always talk about young defensemen? Some mature earlier than others, but it takes upwards of 300 games to become a solid NHL defenseman for the most part. That's the number we usually use, and he has not played nearly that amount of games. But obviously, Carolina put him on that list for a reason. They have their opinion. But it's going to be interesting to see because he's got ability. He can skate, he can move the puck, and a pretty smart hockey player. Just hasn't had the opportunity because in Carolina's defense, they've been so deep on the back end, maybe the best defense core in the National Hockey League for the last couple of seasons or near the top. And Bean has not really gotten his chance to play. So I would expect he would love to be taken by the Seattle Kraken because that would mean he's going to get a good opportunity.
This is going to be the first time in 6 years that I disagree with Dano. I'm going to say instead of 300 games that it took Cale Makar 300 seconds.
Yeah, well,
he's the exception.
There's the exception to the rule. And we're seeing young defensemen come in and have an impact right away.
True.
A lot of the time, though, it's that second season where maybe they have a dip.
Valid.
All of a sudden. But Cale Makar, he's the real deal. He's a superstar
special.
already.
My goodness.